Welcome back to Indyfest 2022. We've just finished that gubernatorial town hall debate, and we have our focus group back. You heard what they said beforehand. Now we're going to see if the debate affected them at all, and then we're going to get their take on it. We're going to start down at the end again. Sir, first, I want you to remind everybody where you were before the debate, and then tell everybody if the debate changed anything.
Well, at the beginning, I felt strongly about going with Joe Lombardo. I am a Republican, and I stated that I feel that our state is in need of a change. I'm not going to get into intricate detail about all the subject matters.
So tell me what you think after the debate. Same, different?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is I'm disappointed.
Why so?
Along with being discouraged, because I expected more out of both candidates rather than back and forth, debating against each other. I wanted to hear what they were going to do for us, not what he did or did not do. That's not what it's about. I can watch that on television. They did the same thing here.
We did hear them say some very different things, though, on certain policies. In addition, of course, they're going to take the opportunity to go after each other. Welcome to my world, sir.
Right.
But did anything change your mind, reinforce position that you had that you're leaning towards Joe Lombardo?
Well, at this point in time, there was a lot said. Therefore, that gives me a lot to think about.
So you're not sure that you're going to vote for Lombardo now?
No, because I didn't hear what I expected to hear about the matters at hand.
All right, fair enough. Pass it down. So tell everybody where you were before the debate and where you are now.
Before the debate,
hold the mic as close as you can.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Before the debate, I was undecided. I'm still not sure who I'm going to vote for, but I did like where Joe Lombardo was clearing up the abortion issues, where it is a state issue, and it would be open to the people's vote. So I appreciated that he clarified that, because I don't think a lot of people are aware of that. But I'm still undecided.
Did anything else jump out at you from the debate that caught your interest?
The COVID issue, I don't know. I feel kind of like the numbers are inflated on a lot of the people. My condolences to the people that passed away, but I feel that a lot of people also had underlying conditions that passed away. So, and I feel that Las Vegas was shut down too long. And it hurt a lot of people. It hurt a lot of families, businesses. I know it hurt the schools. A lot of students suffered, not having that interaction with other children. I know that in other states, schools didn't close down at all. So I feel the schools were closed down too long as well.
I'm going to try to push you. Are you leaning one way or the other after the debate? I know you're undecided.
I'm leaning Republican.
You're leaning towards Joe Lombardo now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Pass on the mic.
With me, I was enlightened on some things, but I'm still leaning the same way with the governor. A lot of things was explained that I didn't really know, but I'm still leaning that same way.
Did anything jump out at you at all? Was there any specific part of the debate where what one person said made more sense than what the other person said to you?
Some of the stuff that, like, with the
Put your mic a little bit closer.
with the ads that was stated about about the abortion, things was explained, certain things went one way because of different rules and things of that nature.
Okay, let's pick up the other mic. Thank you.
I think that I'm still leaning towards Lombardo.
And you were leaning for...
Yes.
Tell me why. Tell me what you saw in the debate that makes you still lean towards him.
He clarified, his views on the abortion issues. And And I'm just in generally wanting a change. It just seems like Sisolak followed California too much.
Any other part of the debate, any other issues that you're concerned about that came up that made you continue to lean towards Joe Lombardo?
Maybe the tax issue, that saying that he wouldn't raise them.
Okay. Next. Hold the mic close so people can hear you.
All right. In the beginning, I was definitely uncertain of who I would vote for. Currently, I believe I'm more comfortable with Governor Sisolak. Just a lot of the things that he's already started, I'd like to see him finish.
Were there things that were said during the debate that makes you lean towards the governor now?
Absolutely. I don't really appreciate the way that Joe Lombardo, like where he stands on a lot of the things. It's just, I'm not that comfortable with.
Okay.
Hi. In the beginning, I was for Steve Sisolak, and I'm even more towards Steve Sisolak now, just by the clarity in his answers. And I also look at the fact he's really only had 2 full years of being able to get his amendments through.
Pull the mic a little closer, sir. There you go. Thank
He
you.
only had 2 years of really clear time to work and get his things pushed through. And I think he deserves another 4 years. But I would be the first one to go work for Joe in 2026 because I think he'll be a great candidate in our next election. He's definitely Joe's come a long way in the last year, just hearing him speak about different issues in our great city and state. So I would love to see that happen where Joe gets to work for Steve for the next 4 years, and then after that, it hands it off to Joe. That would be great.
I think the chances of Joe going to work for Steve or Steve going to work for Joe are very small. But it's nice that you raise it. But even though you say that, you say so. Obviously, Joe Lombardo said some things that you liked, but you said you're still more now for Steve Sisolak. Why?
Just because of the clarity of the answers that are coming from him, you can tell he's got more experience in that matter of government, and I think that's important now. And when you think about it, Steve's only had 2 full years of being able to get his amendments through and stuff. We need 4 more years of Steve.
Okay, next.
So I was on the fence initially, but I think after watching the debate, even though there wasn't a whole lot of clarification to glean from it.
I'm hurt by that, by the way. Go on.
No, you did a great job. I think I'm leaning towards Sisolak because there were more answers as far as what's going to be done. I felt, to his credit, Lombardo just doesn't have the experience that Sisolak does, and he's done a good job in the time that he's been in. And you mentioned, I believe, the rapid summary eviction,
Right.
in terms of housing. That personally is something that affects me, and I didn't hear anything from Lombardo regarding that. So regarding housing, regarding the housing plan, Sisolak had something to say about it, but Lombardo didn't have any figures or anything to say about it.
Well, I want you all to know that I knew I'd be in big trouble if I didn't bring up housing after all of you brought it up and said that's what you wanted to hear about. Okay, go ahead, pass it on.
Well, I was for Sisolak. I still am. I think the housing, the fund, I think, was $500 million, the fund for building new housing.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's several different funds, but go ahead, yeah.
That makes sense to me. I think Sisolak's approach to COVID was the right approach. I think it saved lives. It was the right thing to do. And to be honest, when Lombardo made that remark about him attending that memorial service for those 2 Metro officers, that it was political theater, I thought that was out of line, completely out of line.
You don't have to answer this, but I'm going to ask it anyhow. Have you ever voted for a Republican?
Yes,
Okay, all right, good. All right,
I voted for Governor Sandoval.
there you go. All right, go ahead.
I was leaning Lombardo initially. I'm still leaning Lombardo. I don't think one debate makes a case for either or.
What?
I don't
What did you
think
say?
that one debate, even though there was a lot of things that, I was interested in the water issue and a multitude of other things. But
I wanted to bring up a lot of other issues, believe me.
know.
If I could have gotten them to stay for 2 more segments, I would have.
But yeah, I think Sisolak is more polished. He's been in the business a long time. He's a career politician. I think what we've got going is not what I want. I'm looking for change.
You said you're a diehard Republican, right? If I
I am.
remember correctly. Have you voted for Democrats in the past?
Yes, I have.
What would it take for you to vote for a Democrat? Because obviously, whatever it is, Steve Sisolak didn't show it to you.
Well, no. I mean,
put the mic
there
just-
are key issues, and he's right about a lot of things. I'm not saying. I wish I could take the good things from each one of them and make one great candidate, because that's really what I'm looking for. Unfortunately, I have to choose one, and when you're undecided, people vote party line. I don't care what you say. If people can't make a decision one way or another, they're going to vote party line. And I'm looking for change. I'm looking for something different. What we've had isn't working. But once again, that's across the whole United States. We have some big issues that are sadly not addressed because people can't get past the childish remarks. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is indeed. Okay, Kathy, pass that on.
I agree with a lot of the people that.
Where were you before? Remind everybody before the debate.
Well, I'm in the middle.
Okay.
I'm a independent.
You were undecided.
And undecided.
Are you
And
still undecided?
well, yeah, I'm more confused now than
You are. I have failed.
No, you actually were great.
Say that again.
You were great, sir.
Okay.
No, the thing is that there's a lot of people here very passionate about issues, and we did not get any real, true, clear answers on some very major issues. I asked a lot of questions, and I was with the listening ear, and a lot of it was vague. So I'm still undecided. I want to do more research and find out more.
That's great. You know one good place to do that, right? The Nevada Independent. Thank you for saying it.
All right.
Go ahead and pass that on.
I'm still undecided, but after looking at these two people debating up here, in terms of who I think would be the person who would best align with my own interests would probably be leaning towards Sisolak right now.
Why is that? Hold the mic just slightly closer. Go ahead.
I think that he seems to have some answers, not all of them. But the biggest thing is I didn't like the way the two of them were hashing out in front of each other. I want information. I want points. I want what they're going to do, what actions. What are they going to actually do to resolve some of the issues that are out there? They haven't been able to tell me one clear thing. That's part of the reason why I'm still leaning. I haven't made a definitive answer yet.
Okay. I think I should use the other mic, if you could. Thank you.
So I was leaning towards Sisolak, and all of us agree here that we are at a political debate. During that whole thing, I did not receive much information as to policy changes, avenues in which you're going to go in order to retain policies or get rid of policies. This did not give us enough information to even make a valued decision. Honestly, you know.
What would you have liked to have heard that you didn't hear? Besides, I know you're very interested in the mental health issue, but what else?
Well, the only thing that really did come across to any kind of point in that was Sisolak, starting with the school systems, and then starting there with the mental health stuff. Pretty much that's all I got out of that whole thing. You know, I get it, there's political theater, but we are Americans, and we're supposed to be voting on who we know is going to do us the best, not on who we think is lying less or lying more. So that's where I stand with that.
Okay, fair enough.
So before the debate, I was leaning more towards Sisolak, and I'm still, independent with it. I'm more undecided now, though, just after hearing both of them. I agree with Kathy that we do need change, and I don't know, I would have more respect for both men if they didn't act so childish and were more responsible for their actions and how they come across to America. I mean, or, Nevada. It was entertaining, I have to say.
Okay, go ahead. I think we need to use the other mic now, though.
I would like to say most likely before I was leaning towards Sisolak, but now I would like to say I'm more undecided than ever. I got no questions answered. They did not answer what they would do for their constituents. On top of that, when Donald Trump got brought up with the endorsement, you're living in a state where 75% of the population is in Clark County. That's the voters. They traditionally vote Democrat. So since they traditionally vote Democrat, then the Trump endorsement may work for the rural community, the rural part of Nevada, but it's not going to work for the urban part of the state.
Okay.
I'm still unequivocally with Sisolak.
You were very concerned about abortion. What did you think of that discussion?
Well, I could see that Sisolak, he was jumping out of his chair trying to answer it. I don't think he had enough time, but when Sheriff Lombardo was speaking, it was always like political theater, or what was it? It's up to the people. So I didn't think he spoke much on that issue.
Okay.
I was undecided last time. I'm actually leaning more towards Sheriff Joe. Because Sisolak lied beyond recognition on the charter schools. My children actually go to charter. He made the comment that they can deny a child. My daughter has a 504. She has Tourette's. And she is in the most amazing charter school. During COVID, our children in the public school system, they were denied an education. I am fortunate. Most people do not understand. Charter schools are federally funded. They are free. And they give the most amazing education, and my hats go out to them. So Joe has my vote. For the residents of this community, the fact that I'm so passionate when I speak of this because our taxes are 3% cap, 8% cap, and there is no understanding the fact that if we actually, these investors, tax them properly, so Joe, if you get elected, give me a call. So, sorry.
Oh, you followed this stuff. I'm really impressed. So,
yeah.
I'm really happy that all of you stayed around and you watched this debate. So, but now I'm going to ask you the most difficult question of all, and then we're going to wrap this up. And I want you to, you are not allowed. You're not allowed. It's against the law, and there's Metro officers in here. You are not allowed to not make a choice. The election is going to be held later today, and you have to go in and vote for somebody. Who are you voting for?
100% Joe Lombardo.
Okay, passing the microphone down.
100% Sisolak.
I would have to say Sisolak if it was done today.
I would have to go with Lombardo, I think.
I think I would have to stick with Sisolak.
Sisolak?
Sisolak.
Lombardo.
Governor Sisolak.
Same Governor Sisolak.
Steve Sisolak.
Steve Sisolak.
Lombardo.
Steve Sisolak.
Joe Lombardo.
Sheriff Joe Lombardo.
All right, we have a pretty even split, I think. Maybe a slight edge to the governor in that. Pretty close. Someone out there is keeping track, and if they're not, they're fired. So I really appreciate all of you taking the time, and I heard it was quite lively back there while you were watching the debate. Thanks for being a great focus group. And when we come back, it's almost better than the debate. Almost. Our exclusive poll results from Indyfest 2022. I'll have the pollster here, Mike Noble.